Title: The Final Chapter of Ted Bundy. The Hunt, the Trial, and the Execution. The chilling saga of Ted Bundy, the intelligent, charming, and remorseless predator, culminated in a sequence of events so brazen, so haunting, that they still reverberate through America's collective memory. After 2 audacious prison escapes, Bundy vanished into the shadows, free to unleash his monstrous impulses one final time. What followed was a desperate manhunt, a series of brutal murders, and a courtroom spectacle that laid bare the terrifying reality of America's most infamous serial killer. A fugitive among us. The hunt for Ted Bundy. The news of Bundy's second escape from a Colorado jail stunned the nation. Despite being incarcerated for murder, despite his previous escape attempt, Bundy had slipped through the cracks once again. The public's faith in the justice system wavered, and law enforcement across the country mobilized to prevent further bloodshed. Meanwhile, Bundy, resourceful, manipulative, and now completely untethered, began a cross-country odyssey that would leave devastation in his wake. Using stolen identification and his boyish good looks, he drifted unnoticed through the American South. His ultimate destination, Tallahassee, Florida, sun-drenched college town where young students arrived to pursue their dreams, never suspecting that a monster lurked among them. The Chi Omega sorority house massacre. In the early hours of January 15th, 1978, Ted Bundy committed one of the most savage attacks in modern American history, slipping unnoticed into the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University. He unleashed his fury on 4 young women, armed with a club and his bare hands. Bundy beat and strangled Margaret Bowman and Lisa Levy to death as they slept. 2 more students, Karen Chandler and Kathy Kleiner, were viciously attacked but survived, bearing lifelong physical and emotional scars. The violence was as senseless as it was brutal. The randomness of the attack, the utter disregard for human life left Tallahassee gripped with fear. The illusion of safety shattered in mere minutes. Kimberly Leach, the final victim, but Bundy's bloodlust was not satisfied. On February 9th, 1978, 12-year-old Kimberly Leach vanished from her junior high school in Lake City, Florida. For weeks, her family and community clung to hope, but the grim discovery of her body in an abandoned pig shed extinguished those hopes, leaving behind only grief and outrage. Kimberly's abduction and murder marked the tragic crescendo of Bundy's killing spree. The brutality of his crimes had escalated, his control fraying at the edges as paranoia and desperation consumed him. The walls close in. Bundy's final arresters, Bundy's resources dwindled. So did his ability to evade capture. His once meticulous planning gave way to reckless decisions. On February 15th, 1978, a routine traffic stop in Pensacola, Florida, ended the manhunt. Bundy, using a stolen vehicle and false identification, aroused the suspicion of police officer David Lee. A scuffle ensued, but Bundy was subdued and arrested. Fingerprint analysis confirmed what authorities feared: Ted Bundy, America's most wanted fugitive, was back in custody. The trial of the century. Bundy's trial for the Chiomega murders was a media sensation. Cameras captured every moment, the smirks, the self-representation, the unsettling flashes of arrogance from the man. Accused of slaughtering young women, the prosecution's case was formidable. Bundy's distinctive bite marks, left on Lisa Levy's body, became irrefutable evidence. Eyewitness accounts, forensic testimony, and Bundy's own erratic behavior painted a damning portrait. Despite his legal acumen, Bundy's charm could not mask the mountain of evidence. On July 24, 1979, the jury delivered its verdict. Guilty on all counts. The sentence: death. The Kimberly Leach trial and more death sentences. 1980. Bundy faced trial for the abduction and murder of Kimberly Leach. This time, the evidence was overwhelming. Witnesses placed Bundy near the school. Fibers from his van matched those found on Kimberly. The jury wasted little time. Another conviction, another death sentence. Bundy's fate was sealed. Manipulation and delays. Bundy's final game for nearly a decade. Bundy wielded his intellect as a weapon, exploiting every legal avenue to delay his execution. He confessed to over 30 murders, dangling details before investigators. To buy himself more time, psychologists, criminologists, and the public obsessed over Bundy's psyche. Was he a textbook sociopath? A narcissist? A product of his fractured childhood? The questions swirled, but one truth remained. Bundy was a remorseless predator. His media appearances, including chilling interviews, only deepened the morbid fascination. The execution. Justice finally served on January 24, 1989. At Florida State Prison, Ted Bundy's story reached its inevitable end. Strapped to Old Sparky, Florida's electric chair, Bundy awaited his fate. Outside, crowds gathered, some mourning the victims, others celebrating the monster's demise. Homemade signs read "Burn, Bundy, burn," capturing the nation's raw emotions. At 7:16 a.m., the execution was carried out. Ted Bundy, the charming law student, the master manipulator, the sadistic killer, was dead. A legacy of horror and lessons learned at Bundy's reign of terror left scars, not only on his victims' families, but on the nation itself. His escapes exposed glaring flaws in the justice system, prompting sweeping reforms in security and law enforcement protocols. His crimes fueled debates about the nature of evil. How could someone so seemingly ordinary harbor such darkness? Bundy shattered the myth that monsters are easy to spot. In the years since his death, true crime documentaries, books, and studies have dissected every facet of Bundy's life. Yet, fascination must never overshadow the real victims, the innocent women and girls whose lives were stolen. The chilling truth endures. The tale of Ted Bundy is not merely a cautionary story, it's a haunting reminder that beneath the veneer of normalcy can lurk unimaginable darkness. His charm, his intelligence, his ability to blend in all made him more dangerous, not less. Bundy's final chapter reminds us to remain vigilant, to question appearances, and to honor the memory of those whose voices were silenced. In the end, justice caught up with Ted Bundy, but the echoes of his evil linger, etched into history as a warning the world must never forget.